Okay, I think maybe. I think we're on. What is wrong?
Okay, are we there?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Arlene, we're just waiting for her.
Yep, she's there. I see her. On YouTube, I see us live, but I don't hear anything.
I'm
There
here.
we go. Hi.
Hi. Okay, and I see you ladies on live, so we're good.
Yeah. And now I just need to figure out how to get it so that we can hear everybody.
Okay. Well, right now I can see. Oh, there we go. So right now I can see everybody. See, there's me.
Oh,
and
nice.
you.
I
And
see.
you.
Okay, I don't know how you're doing that, but anyways, that's okay. So okay, we're still going and nothing's cut
We
off?
are, but there's no sound. So, sure, why not?
Why is
mean
there
there's
no
no
sound?
sound?
I don't know why there's no sound.
Can you hear
I
us
can hear
online?
you.
Well, I can hear us on Zoom, but on YouTube it doesn't sound like, but maybe it's because I'm using Zoom. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be a bit of delay too between like Zoom and by the time it gets on um, YouTube, there's going to be a little bit of a delay too.
Okay, got ya.
Yeah.
And now I just need to figure out how I can see the comments.
Well, I can let you know. Like I said, I have it here on my screen on my phone.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah,
perfect. Yeah. If you
yeah,
can see
I
them,
can
then
see.
I'm not touching shift because
Oh, yes,
last time I touched things didn't
yes.
go as planned, but it seems to be good
Okay.
now. So, okay,
Yeah.
now we'll hear your story. And thank you if anybody has actually stuck with us and come back on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
way to
goodness,
go,
that's so funny.
Arlene. Tell us again
Oh,
about how you become a reverend.
I'm gonna go on the old live and just hit replay. I'm kidding.
Right?
Just a joke. Okay. Oh my gosh, sorry. It's just so funny.
It is so
Okay.
funny. It's like
You
take
have to laugh.
900.
Yes. Oh my goodness, it's the best. Okay, so as I was saying, um, so it's already been like over 10 years in the making of becoming a reverend. Because my inner realm has been telling me off and on since like Gabriel was probably like 3, and he's my youngest, he's almost 18. But then in 2022, it hit me really hard. And I just kept being told, you know, this is another way to bring me closer to God and bring me closer to be in the type of service in my full alignment and in like my full, you know, divine blueprint. And I was like, whoa, that's like, okay, that's a lot. But okay, I went with it. And then I started through Rising Sun. They're in like, they're close to Toronto. I think they're in Vaughan area. I'm so bad with that stuff. So through them, I did this online Reverend course through A Course in Miracles, which was awesome. And so I finally completed that in November of 2023. And then now, because of that, so like in that meantime, I was still Intuitive Works with Arlene, which we know because I was part of your podcast, which feels like forever ago.
It does.
Just because time doesn't make sense and it's speeding up so quickly, where my joke all the time is like, it's not where I am, it's when I am, because I feel like I'm jumping timelines all the time. But anyways, so through that, I started offering these wholeness wellness gatherings here in Brantford, where I live in Brantford, Ontario. And and I did a couple of those, and I also did like 6-week mindful meditation classes, where I was offering it at different businesses, so during their lunch, I would go in, I would do meditation, and I also did it online. I just finished a 6-week course between November and December. And so then because of that, like, it was so amazing, the feedback that I received from the participants in those, different offerings. And, and as like I was saying to you, Barb, before we jumped on, where it's like, it's a feeling that I can't even really describe. It's like my heart was bursting with just this joy, and like, it was just full of light. And, and that feeling of, you're on the right path, right? Like, that what you're offering is impacting humanity and impacting those in your presence, in ways you couldn't even fathom, right? Which is, again, is the whole point, right? Which is like, our human ego can't understand the vastness of what God has for us, right? And that's what it felt like. And so now, as I, closed off and ended the chapter of Intuitive Works and started to step into my role as Reverend Arlene, right? Which is still so weird for me to say, but Reverend Arlene, it was more of, this is how I can really be of service, where it's like, it's really about offering, these classes, whether it be in person or online, in helping people empower themselves through self-care, through self-awareness, through consciousness, like conscious awareness, right? Because it's, it's one thing to be like, okay, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. But when you're coming to it from a space, from a lens and an anchoring of consciousness and conscious awareness, it's a totally different ball game, because you're choosing to really be present in every moment of your life.
Well,
right?
accountable.
And that's how it feels like. And that's how I describe it, right? Like, to me, it's like you're being in true presence of every moment, every choice you're making, you're coming from your heart center, right? And from this true anchoring into your light and being, and embracing your darker, denser energies and the lighter energies, and knowing that there is no gap, right? There is no gap. There's no separation. We need one
So
with
you're
the other.
truly accountable for what you're saying. Is what I'm getting from is you're truly accountable for everything you do from the minute you open your eyes, sort of thing, in the morning. That is very cool. But it's also, I would imagine, some days it's a little demanding on you, is it?
Yes. Yeah, it is. Especially, like, as I have 2 boys who are on the autism spectrum with other special needs. And it's like, sometimes, I get lost in it, right? I get lost in like the human aspect, right? And you get overwhelmed. But then, yes, like, you have those moments where, I guess because it's been something I've been working with, and, in that work for so long, where it's like, now I can recognize it sooner, right? And because of that, I found ways to, be able to offer little techniques or, tools that people can use every day in their life, right? Because, not everybody has the luxury of being able to, sit on a mountaintop and meditate for, 5 hours, right? And, of course, we all wish, right? But it's like, how do you bring that mindfulness into your everyday routine while still being able to be human and function, right? And that's something that I feel is so important, especially for me, like I said, being a single mom, raising these 2 boys. I lost a lot of that because I kind of lost sight of it. As much as I brought my spirituality into everything, and my Reiki and all that stuff into every aspect of our life, but there's still a lot of it that kind of got lost. And now I found a way to incorporate that, right? Which is, like on my YouTube channel too, I started a series called Simple Wellness Techniques, right? And every 2 weeks, I bring in a little short video of different little techniques you can do every day, and build and build and build, so that you just for those few minutes bring that little self again, that little self-awareness, that self of conscious awareness into what you're doing. And it helps you to regulate your emotions, and where you're not allowing yourself to kind of get, tossed in the whirlwind of life and the chaotic stuff that's happening, right? Because we can get so lost in that we lose sight of, everything that we have to be grateful for and appreciative of. So if I can bring a little bit of techniques to help people be like, you know what, while you're washing the dishes, you can do this. While you're doing this with your child, you can do that with them. And, for me with my boys, it's amazing now because it's been part of our life since they were young. So for them too, when they're having an off day, it's like, Mom, can I have a bath with essential oils and some salt and baking soda, or, can I use your crystals, and they get their own crystals, or can we use the singing bowl? Can we use the tinctures? Different things, right? Or they are like saying too, like, hey, can we do a meditation tonight, Mom? I'm like, yeah, of course, let's do this, right? Like, I'm gonna say no, right? Like, and it's amazing where you can bring those little things and build on it and make it a part of your everyday routine for yourself and with your children, especially, right? So
can you mentor people now being a reverend? Can you also mentor people to become a reverend as well?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
Probably not until maybe, I don't know, because I would have to be probably part of a certain type of ministry or course to be able to do that aspect. So I don't think so. I don't know for sure. I'm going to say no, just because I don't think so, but yeah.
This is going to be a weird question, and maybe I shouldn't answer and ask it online.
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to ask you, like, when you started doing Reiki, I knew you when you were doing Reiki. Okay. And you're very, very good at it, by the way. And
thanks.
So the feeling that we get when we do Reiki, okay, and we feel that we are in that moment, with the bliss of everything we want around us. Okay. Now that you've gone into that next step of becoming a reverend and how you feel. So how much has that elevated that feeling of what you felt then? Like, how more elevated do you feel now? Or does it connect that way?
It does in a way. Like, it's actually kind of funny because it's almost like everything I've been going through was more like it was helping me to be able to step into this role.
Right.
So it's almost like it's almost like that role was always meant to be my destiny in some way. And everything I've been going through has been leading me so that I could maybe step into it with a little bit more ease and a little bit more confidence. And maybe in some ways that sense of feeling a little bit more worthy.
Okay.
To take on that role, right? Because again, too, like I think, like like you ladies, I was raised Roman Catholic, right? So to me, sometimes too, there is that aspect of it. There's still that kind of like, right, like that kind of, you know what I mean? Not that I'm but you know what I mean. But there's that level of being connected to God in that way, right? And and sometimes I make jokes with my mom because I have to, because again, like we said, if it wasn't for sarcasm, like what would we do, right? So because my grandmother. My grandmother was like the most, to me, I always feel like the most person connected to God, right? Like she prayed more than she ate. She always walked with her rosary and stuff like that, right? And she always said to me that what I do and who I am is a gift from God. She's like, you are doing God's work. Like she always said that to me. And that meant so much, considering here's this person, who is so enriched, in the Catholic religion and their beliefs, but also because, like I said before too, it's interesting for me too, being Portuguese, the way we were raised, we had a lot of like the mysticism and everything. So to me, I always feel like that was such a blessing that I was brought into that world too, right? Of the mysticisms, the oracles, healers, all that stuff. And I love it, right? Because hi, this is me now, right? But so, with that, so like I said, like my joke now is like my grandmother's in heaven being like, yeah, that's right. my granddaughter, she's a reverend now, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like she's like walking around for like street credit in like heaven, you know, like kind of thing, right?
Chances are she is.
Yeah.
She's in heaven right now with street credit. Like, yeah, that's right. My granddaughter, you know, but yeah, so but I feel like I was already changing, or my perspective, or the way I would see and feel the energy of Reiki and just like energy work in general, that was already changing and shifting so much, so that now that I'm kind of again, like shifting how I'm being of service, I feel like it's just more like it's just kind of coming in more full circle. So I don't know if there's really like I can't really say that's like it's a difference or elevated, but it's like it was already building that way, if that makes sense.
Right. You just said beautiful. Yeah, I was just curious because I thought, you know, like I know the energy when you're in Reiki and that, and when you get out of it for a while and you get back into it, you go, whoa, how come I get away from that for a while, right? So, and then so becoming a reverend, that's even on a higher level to me of extension sort of thing. So yeah, it was, thank you for explaining that,
thank
because
you.
I didn't know if it was a silly question or not.
No, it wasn't. No, thank you. I guess too. I just never really thought about it, but now that you put it that way, it's like, oh, okay. It helped me. It was good for myself too, because it helped me to kind of see again, like that full circle, like the cycle of how it all came together, and you know, and this is where I am now, and where I'm leading after this, I have no idea. Like I'm still just letting it unfold in front of me and just letting myself be guided and be like, okay, where do I go from here, God? Like, what do you want me to do next? Because
right. Well, I find with spirituality anyways, like when I started way back when, and I was doing teacup readings and palm readings and stuff like that. And then Kimmy was into it when she was younger too. And the more things that you do, then you start getting into oils, then you start getting into crystals, you know, and you're getting into the tarot cards, the oracle cards, you know, you're doing all these different things. So you're ascending and you don't even realize how you're going into these paradigm shifts as you're walking into life, right? And I mean, it takes years to go through them, but we're definitely doing the paradigm shifts and sometimes we realize we are, and sometimes it's afterwards we realize, oh, shoot, I just went through that shit, right? But it's amazing, all the modalities that we grab along the way, right?
Yeah.
That we encompass into our being, our well-being. And for you, like you've just gone the other extension to it. Like I really give you a lot of good for you, girl. Yeah.
Oh, that means so much. And I always say it was because of you that I bought my first tarot deck. It was always because of you. Because at that time, like I always, you know, here I was like 15, 16 years old, you know, and here I'm 46 now. Like it just seems so weird. But,
wow,
you know, here I was. And, you know, and I was always interested in all that stuff. But it was until I had a reading with you and yours like, well, you know, it takes a psychic to know a psychic. And I'm like, what? You know, and you're like saying to me, like, yeah, like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then that was it. It's like, well, okay, now I got to buy my first deck and all that stuff. And then it just took off from there. So, you know, if anybody's going to come after me, I'm going to come after Barb first. She started it. She opened up Pandora's box.
Right? Yeah, she started that for me too. What?
Well, you know, you're both laughing and you're both with me, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's great too. And I think, you know, it's nice too. I like how you say that, you know, you're just letting it unfold, because I think so often when we follow our paths on this, we force things to happen, and then it's like, oh, why isn't this working out for me? Because it's not supposed to, right? That's not where you're meant to travel down or do whatever. And I've been finding lately that's kind of what I've been doing too. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put it out there that whatever I'm supposed to be doing and the path that I'm supposed to be following, let that be, right? And it's interesting because things are starting to, you know, different collaborations with people and you know, courses popping up that I wanted to be taking, and it's like, okay, yeah, all right, I'll just let you be in charge. I need also that neon sign.
You're listening. That's the thing is, as we do this work, we start listening. We started off, we don't realize that they're chattering in our ears and are making movements with us that are telling us to go in different areas. But once you start listening to the chatter of what they're trying to say and direct you, like it's like, whoa, shit, didn't expect this to happen. You really don't,
right?
And if you sit back and if I had thought when I met you that you're going to be a reverend today, it was like, wow, I hope so. It's and even with
That
the
little
podcast
16-year-old
here.
girl, right?
Yeah, you just don't know. And what you've watched you do with your children too. You've done such an amazing job with both your boys, and I know they're men now, but that just shows too that your integrity and your courage, and you have been listening to Spirit to say, yeah, you need to do that too. So good for you. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And good that you've given them this tool as well to be able to use these things to ease their lives, right? And call on that. And I think that's so important. I think you've done so wonderful with that. Like anytime I see something or hear something about how, the boys are asking for crystals or like, I think that's so amazing because if more kids did that, I feel like it wouldn't be such a chaotic life that we're living in right now.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Another question. Like you do so much with your boys. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm monopolizing this.
Okay.
Wow. But with your boys, so you have taken your boys, both of them have autism, correct? Okay. Yeah. So is it Asperger's too?
Or is my youngest, because now they don't put them in those, now it's just autism spectrum for everybody, right? Okay. But at a time, Gabriel, my youngest, probably would have been considered more Asperger's, where my oldest, there wasn't that. It was just he's on the autism spectrum. And then through school, he also got diagnosed with mild intellectual disability. And then my youngest, and then again, like I said, my youngest Gabriel would have been Asperger's, but then he also has a communication kind of disability too, and how he communicates. But yeah, so I guess in some ways Gabriel maybe would have fallen more under that label or that diagnosis, but they don't use that anymore. Now it's just autism spectrum disorder.
Right. So you I know from listening to Kim and you too, you do a lot of events with your guys too. Have you found that has given them a lot of more social skills because you're so active on doing that with them? Is that something you would say to somebody else that does have an autistic child or Asperger's, whatever? Yeah, bring them out into the public and expand their horizons of what they can do, that they can learn too on a pretty good level.
Yeah, it's always about for me, and even still now, it's gotten better. So even though as much as they're older, and I always say to people, yes, maybe I'm not as hands-on in cutting their food or doing different things in those aspects, but now it's more of helping them with their emotions and building that self-confidence and more independent skills, right? Good. And being confident in their independence. So, but still, there's still a lot of the practices that I had to do with them when they were younger that I still need to do now. So it's when we are going to plan an outing, it's still me doing a lot of research ahead of time. Okay. Right. So I'm still doing research of okay, when is it quieter so that it's easier for them to be able to take part in it without becoming overwhelmed by the sounds, the noises, the lights, and different things. So it's still a lot of those things, but it's important that you at least try, to take them to these places. And there is a lot more places now that are offering, events kind of with the special needs in mind, right? Where it's okay, you go to a movie theater, they have certain times, movie theaters will make it less noisy in there and, and a little bit more dimmer to help children with autism, and only have fewer tickets. So it's not overwhelming, so they'll do different things. So it's important as a parent to, yes, take them into these gatherings, but you still have to do a lot of research of, okay, when is the best time to go so that they're not overwhelmed, right. So that you're leaving when the busy crowd starts to show up, right? Or, what I mean? And it's just important to really listen to your child too and just be observant, right? Because they give away a lot of little cues within themselves to help you understand. For example, my youngest, and it's funny because he wants to be a paleontologist and he loves dinosaurs, right? What's neat is we always called it where it's like, when he was growing up, one of his little tail signs of that he was overwhelmed was he would, we call it, he was like doing either like the old man or like a raptor, because he'd be like this, right? His body would be like this and he'd walk like this, and you already knew when he's doing that, he's not comfortable. There's something that's too much for him, right? So it's those things. So it's like understanding that, and also too, like for parents, it's about realistic expectations, even though I don't like expectations, but being realistic in the fact of like, okay, you're not going to take them to some big festival and plan to be there all day long. You might get maybe an hour or two if you're lucky, and be happy with that, and be supportive of them and tell them like what an amazing job you did. Like, look, you got to do this, you tried this, and then you leave. So it's like those things too. It's always to be in that like mindfulness of, you're probably not going to get a full day's worth. So like going to like Canada's Wonderland with your kid is probably not a great idea, right? Because
No.
you know what I mean? Like it's probably not going to happen, right? So, but little things where you can maybe chunk out a couple hours before it gets too busy, and they can still get the experience, and you get the experience of seeing your child try something new and be joyful, right? So
yes, and that's what it's all about. Yeah, well, they both have good temperaments that I've seen when I met them, and they're good boys. So yeah, good for you.
Thank you. That's pretty awesome.
You're a mentor at that too. You didn't know it, right? Yeah. You are.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. But they taught me so much too. Like they probably taught me more than I taught them, but we're learning together. And like we say now, like we are a team, right? Like as much as I'm their mom and they're my children. And yes, there's, rules and, levels of respect and everything. But at the same time, it is like we are a team, and we have that level of respect for each other that goes both ways. Right. And I've really worked hard on building that relationship where I want them to feel comfortable to talk to me about anything and everything, and know that I will do my best to be like Switzerland and not, and just kind of be neutral and just listen, and
go with the wind sort of thing, fly with your angels.
Yeah.
Kimmy saying.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. And I think that's helpful, people are listening to hear that, because I think, I know that it's a struggle, right? Because how do you adapt and how do you get them to these places? And I think that's nice that people can hear that and be like, oh, okay, so maybe I can carve out, a half an hour, as opposed to putting this big, burden on me that it's going to be an all day event. And, then you're more calm, and then so are they, to be able to participate. So I think that's wonderful for people.
And I think too that you haven't allowed that to hold you back too on, growing as well. You kept your own self, your momentum up to grow and do the things that you wanted to do as well. And the boys have been fortunate enough to see that too. So that's all a really good thing. It shows other people too that don't give up, because things happen in life that, they do. And so don't give up, be strong, and you can still succeed and move forward with any kind of conditions or situations, right? So
it's just about pivoting, right? Like you pivot, kind of like, I feel like that's my life a lot of times. It's been pivoting, right? Where it's like, okay, it might not be exactly what you were thinking or wanting to do, but it's like, it doesn't mean that it's still not there. It just means that maybe just not right now, right? And it's like, what do you do in the meantime, right? And you just kind of navigate. That's all. That's life, right? That's being human, is navigating.
Do you think because you've had to do this and that it's helped you spiritually grow and expand by having to just go through all these different things and learn all these different things and look at the world in a different view?
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like maybe I wasn't fully aware of that when it was happening, right? Because when you're in it, it is difficult, right? Like it's like I say, it wasn't easy. It wasn't, I like to be like, and I say it now, like, and it's hard. It hurts me to say it, but it's truth. Like it's my truth at that time, where when they were younger, I didn't have the luxury of being a mom, really, right? Like I never felt like I got the luxury of being a parent. It was all these other roles and hats that I had to wear. So at that time, I didn't get a chance to enjoy being a mom and enjoy my children, right? Because it was very focused on something else, right? It was helping them to navigate and be able to function in society.
Yeah.
So it was a very different time. But as we built that and we grew together, right? And, you know, and as I gained more knowledge too, through all the supports that I was getting through the community services that were available to my boys, you know, because they were amazing. They really helped me in navigating that. But then also too, yes, my spirituality, that really helped me to connect to them in a different way. Right. And through like, and I really feel like through Reiki and stuff too, because I did that on the boys a lot. Right. Like, and I said before to you, like in my podcast and just in other videos I made, where to them, it's like, mommy, can you do your magic on me? Right. That was Reiki.
Yeah.
Right? It was my magic,
That's so
right?
cute. That's cute. Yeah.
So like, you know, and even now to this day, they don't call it magic anymore, but they'd always be like, hey, Mom, can you like check this? Can you maybe do this? You know, like, you know, or whatever, you know, and so they'll ask me to still do things now. Right. Because they can feel it sometimes. They'd be like, Mom, are you working on me right now? Because I'm feeling something. Right. And I'm like, well, yes, I am. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not, because it's like, it's just in my hands. It's always flowing out of me. Right. So it's not like, right. It comes to a point now where it's like, it's just always on. Like you don't like have to turn it on. It's just on. Right. So
all the time. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like I see now, I could really see how, again, like I said, it's just this circle, like this full circle that keeps coming together. Right. And you just see how everything came together and how it all worked together, and how I'm so grateful for the boys that I have, because yes, they taught me so much, but like with anything, they teach you love, right? Like that's what it always comes down to. It's just this unconditional love, right? And one thing I always say too is, for especially for parents or caregivers of special needs children, the biggest lesson I learned is about the ego. When you are a parent, your ego needs to go out the window, because it's not about you, it's about them. Right? It's no longer about what you were expecting or what you want for them. Like, yes, you want the best for your child, and you want to help them navigate in this world so they can be adults and, you know, independent as much as possible. But there's so much of it where it's like, no, you need to just let that go and let them unfold in front of you. Let them show you who they are.
Yes, like you do with I did with my children, you know. Go out into the world and do your own thing, and hopefully I've given you some tools that has directed you in a good way, that you can be a good person, and also thrive to gain everything you want in your life, spiritually, mentally, physically, you know, the whole gambit we want for our children, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. True.
Yeah, because our idea of happiness is maybe not their idea of happiness, right? And it's important that have the opportunity to figure out what makes them joyful, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, right? And yeah, I mean, it's funny because, you know, kids are they take so much of our time and our effort, but in the end, it's just so rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. The end scope is exactly that. So are we doing tarot cards too, or what are we doing here?
You can. I don't see anybody on. I did post.
Yeah, it says right now, I think it says I don't know. It says right now there's 3. So I don't know if it's
you and I and Tim.
Well, it has to be. Yeah. So I don't know, but I thought, are we going to do a meditation and then we can pull some cards? I don't know.
Yeah. Why don't we do that? I mean, we can pull some cards for each other, and if somebody comes on and asks, then
we can even do like an energy, like collective reading too. Because with all the planetary stuff happening right now, it's crazy, and the energies today have been like tuning like crazy today. The frequencies, they've been woo-wee. Lordy.
I think that's something we should talk about. Because over this last week, I have found that the energies have been like this. And where you stand back for a minute and go, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, like take that away and like bring this new stuff on, right? The energies have been just like, have you found that this week? Emotionally and stuff.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah. There's been a lot. And it's like, like, so one thing I've been feeling for a while now too is, so, okay, so, you had, 2020 came. And so basically from 2020 to just the beginning of 2023, right? So we are in this like energy of awakening, right? So everything got like turned on, right? So all of a sudden it's like there's all this light. And then because of that, now we're seeing everything that's been hiding in the dark. So it's always been there, but we were just not really preview to it, right? But now we are, because now everything is shining so bright. So now we've been in this sense of awakening, of bringing, like recognizing, right? So it's like, okay, so that's more of like the logical. So like logically, we're seeing this, we're understanding it to a degree. But then now as we're moving from 2023 into, I'm going to say 2026, 2027, right? That's the energy now. Now we're moving away from just, it's not enough to just understand it. Now we got to feel it. Right. Now we have to feel it, work it through our body, work it through our hearts. Right. So now this is the part that's even more difficult for humans, right? Because they don't like discomforts, right? We try to do everything. So it's like, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I understand it. And, it's still been, as much as we've been working through things, it's still a lot of times there's this layer still of kind of superficial, where now it's like, no, now we're deep in the trenches of our being. And that's what we're working through now because of that. And moving into the, the era of Aquarius now, it is very much of like, it's just breaking open. Right. And now we're really breaking our hearts open. We thought we understood what heart center was, but we didn't. This is poof. Like it's intense, but it's beautiful if you allow yourself to see that vastness, right? Like I was saying before, like if you can give yourself a moment to kind of, again, step away from your ego, right? Step away from the human aspect and see from the lens of the observer and see what's really coming into being. It's beautiful. We are in such a beautiful experience. Yes, it feels shitty. Don't get me wrong. Like it's not comfortable. But because it's like you're moving through the mud, right? You're moving in this mud, and it's not nice. It's like, it makes me think of, remember that old movie, The Never Ending Story, and the horse got stuck in the mud of despair? Like that's kind of what it feels like in some ways, right? Like we're going through this mud, we're in this grieving period, but we need to grieve that so that we can truly open up our hearts, really move through it, and truly step in to the embodiment of who our enlightened being is, so that we can actually remember. This is what it's all about. We're unlocking to remember.
Yeah. And that's what I find with this too, this 2024 is memory. Like,
yes,
like you question yourself sometimes, like, holy cow, and you're forgetting things and you're doing this and that. And I think it's just that you got there's so much of this in front of you, okay, that you're trying to come out and trying to learn about and that. And so your mind's just full all the time. And you're questioning, like, I'm a question person anyway. And as we are. But the thing is, it seems like to be even more in focus this year, where it's like download, right? Trying to receive, but at the same time, it's like, whoa, so yeah, thanks. That helps.
and we're gonna see that more too, because of the fact that for us, it feels like memory loss, but it's because you got to think of our body. Like we are a computer system. So we are we're getting rid of like data and programs that we don't need anymore. There's information that we had before that really has no service or purpose anymore, or is relevant anymore into the next phase that we're going through. So it's like a temporal wipe. It's erasing that stuff. Because there really is no purpose in holding on to it anymore. Because it has no place in the new paradigms.
True.
And then the new dimensions that we're stepping into within ourselves, right? So there's so much information that we just don't need anymore. So that's why we're forgetting things, right? Because there's just so much. And we're stepping more into a phase of energy being more important than words. Right.
Okay, that makes sense too. Okay.
Right. Labels. We get so attached to labels. We don't need labels. Labels, like if I didn't have to go around saying my name was Arlene, that'd be even better. Like I'd love it. I'd love if I didn't have to say that to anybody. I'm like, whatever, this is just it. Right. But
this is just me.
Yeah. it's like, hi, I'm just this like light. Let's just work with that. Right. Like, and that's what I mean too. Like sometimes too, it's hard for me. That's why I've always been so bad at remembering names and stuff, because I see the soul, I see the energy. I don't always see like the human so much. Like I do, but I don't, you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's like more and more we're stepping into the truth of energy, and how energy is everything. Energy, frequency, vibration, all that's in the same like ball field, right? So more and more we're realizing how unnecessary these labels are, and especially often labels only cause separation. So we're moving more and more into that unity consciousness and closing the gap of separation.
Because I find when you're with people, I don't know about you, but if the energy is, even in a conversation, if the energy isn't as light as where I want to travel, I don't hear anything they say. And spirit makes me just move away. And at that point, you try to do your moral thing and your conscious levels come back through, but at the same time you're going, yeah, but that's not what I want. Right. So you find yourself moving from it anyways, not intending for any kind of ignorance or anything else to be there. It's just your focus is taking you and saying, no, you don't need that. That's yuck. That's yucky energy. Let's move on to the good stuff.
Well, it's like, as you're saying that, I keep hearing, like Jesus always used to say too, you can only, people, like, you can speak words, but not everybody's going to understand the words you're speaking, right? And that's frequency, that's energy, right? So as much as you're sharing information, if that person isn't resonating with you at the same frequency, the same hertz, then they're not going to understand anything you're saying, right? And it's not to be a negative thing, or one is better, one is not. It's not that. It's just that it's energy, and energy is everything, right? And we're always looking, we're always being pulled like a magnet to those who are in that alignment with us, that are basically playing the same radio station, right? That's what frequency is. It's a radio station. So, if you're at 97.5 and I'm at 102, it's just not going to jive. It's going to be hard for us to understand each other. And it doesn't mean that one's better, one's worse. It just means that we're in different places right now, right? Because as much as we're all here, but we're all experiencing a different reality. Not everyone is experiencing the same reality, right?
It is. Lots of translation. Lots of translation, it really is. And I think you find it's even more so this year. More so.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to find out more this year.
Are we? Yeah. Boy. That should be interesting.
Right.
Okay, Kim, we're not leaving you out there, Kim.
No, I'm just listening. I'll jump in when I can. It was funny when you were talking about the transmission there and explaining that there's a part on the way when you come from Camrose to New Norway, a hill, and they actually have towers there for the radio station for the local country station, actually. And so if I'm driving and I don't happen to be listening to the local country station, I'm listening to something else, all of a sudden, the closer you get to these towers, it starts to break up the music. And sometimes you can hear a little bit of the country music in behind, like the rock or whatever. And it's like, oh, I usually just change the station to the country station because I don't want to listen to that. But I think that's what you're trying to say too. It's like that, right? It's like this static that's like, and so then when you're trying to focus on, I know, right? Totally
it's like you even lose visual sometimes with it.
Exactly.
You're sinking into this other thing. It's like, okay, I don't have to see or hear.
Like you can't hear them because there's that static.
Yeah,
right.
And it's not
so
escaping.
What you're saying is like, I'm not picking up what you're throwing down.
Yeah. Interesting. I love that hill going down to your place, by the way.
Okay.
Pretty through there. It's a pretty view, that's why.
It is pretty.
Okay. So where we go from here?
We're gonna do a meditation. Are you gonna do the meditation? Where, Arlene?
Me? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I have a meditation that maybe, I don't know if you ladies would be interested in it. So it's kind of like it's more like a body gratitude, since I feel like, again, moving into 2024, it's very much about embodying our body more, right? And truly connecting more to our body. Because as we connect more to our body, then the more we anchor into our light, right? Because as we say, like, as we're moving through this ascension process, our human, like, so the ego is ascending, but our soul is descending into our body more, right? So we're getting deeper into our soul, into our true being. So it's about, again, closing that gap and bringing and emerging it all together. So I have, like, it's a shorter meditation, but it might, I don't know if it's still going to be too long, but we can see if you ladies would like to do that one. I have that one, and it's kind of like we move throughout the whole body, and we kind of give gratitude and connect to everything within our body. That sound good?
Yep. That sounds good to me. Thank you.
All right. Nope.
I almost called you Reverend Arlene when I said that. Because I could see it there, right? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, just a little bit behind on the screen when you're watching it, but it's very interesting just to say.
Yeah. Oh, oops. I laugh now too, because again, like sarcasm, right? We're joking around about sarcasm. My boys now, right? They make jokes because of me being a reverend. It's like, so is everything you touch now blessed, Mom? You know, and then to really take it up a notch. So every time you go to the bathroom, is it holy shit now? Right? So, yeah.
That's cute.
That is cute.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They only said that because we heard a joke about that. It's like, if you ever use the bathroom at church, does it become holy shit? Right? So I'm like, again. And again, I have boys. We're going to have weird conversations like that.
Right. Absolutely. 100%.
All right. Okay. So, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give us a few moments just to kind of find our comfortable meditative position. You know, we can either close our eyes or just keep them gently, like softly open in a soft gaze. We're going to take a moment to just focus on the general state of our body, describing it to ourselves without judgment, the sensations, feelings we may be experiencing at this moment. Just gently scanning the body. We are amplifying our state of awareness. We aren't, as I said, in judgment. We aren't placing emotion onto the feeling. Emotions are the stories we attach. A feeling is just a feeling. And giving yourself permission to just focus on the general state. We might feel heaviness. We might feel sadness or joy, stiffness. Again, we're just being in awareness. We're approaching everything from the eyes of the observer. Let us move our attention now to our breath. The physical sensation of breathing and how it's felt in the body. Feeling the breath moving in and the breath moving out. Breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. Regulating our body. Breathing in and breathing out. Not forcing the breath, not holding the breath. Gently and with focus, breathing in and breathing out. Bring the attention of your breath to your feet now and your toes. Breathing into that space. Taking this moment to thank our feet for being the foundation of our body. Our feet take us everywhere. Our feet and our toes is a gift. In that gift, we get to embrace and enjoy walking on the grass, feeling the grass between our toes, or walking on the beach and feeling the sands. At the edge of the water, feeling it splash between our toes and feet. If not for them, we would not be able to navigate the world. Thank you, feet and toes, for being my foundation. Thank you, feet and toes, for being my foundation. Breathing into that space. On the next exhale, moving our attention to the ankles, to our shins, to our calves, right up to the knee joint. Feel the breath moving in and out through that space. On the next inhale, send gratitude to your lower leg for allowing you to walk, run, sit, move, and dance. Thank them for all they enable you to do in this life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On the next inhale, move your attention now to the front and back of your thighs. Breathing into that space. Breathing into your thighs. Thank you, thighs, for carrying me with agility and comfort. Thank you for carrying me with agility and comfort. Thank you, thighs, for carrying me with the agility and comfort. On your next inhale, we shift our attention now to the pelvis. Breathing into that space. Bringing our attention to our pelvis. Noticing the shape of the pelvic bone and its weight on the surface you're resting on. Notice how the pelvis connects the upper body with the lower body. Your pelvis is your waste system. The pelvis is the center of activity for our body's reproductive system. The pelvis is a center of balance and mobility for us. The pelvis allows us to sit, stand, walk, and bend. On your next inhale into this space, send gratitude to the pelvis for all that it makes possible. Thank you, pelvis, for all that you make possible. Thank you, pelvis, for all that you make possible. Breathing into that space, in and out. the rise and fall, feeling the gratitude envelop that space. On your next inhale, let's move our attention to the abdomen. For a moment, consider all that it holds. It holds our nutrition center that feeds us, nourishes us, sustains us. In your next inhale, send gratitude to this part of your body for all that it helps and how it helps you to live well. Thank you, abdomen, for nourishing me. Thank you for your ability to support me and help me to live well. On the next inhale, we're shifting our attention now to our back. Feeling each vertebrae stacked one upon each other. Feeling the space in between each vertebrae. Breathe into that space. Breathe into that space with such love and gratitude, thanking the spine for all that it holds and provides you. Thank you, spine. Thank you, vertebrae. Thank you. Taking our attention and our breath, shifting and moving to the lungs and heart, noticing how they are protected by your rib cage. A beautiful design to protect these vital organs that work 24/7 to keep us alive. Breathe in and breathe out. Truly and deeply breathe into this space and breathe out of this space with full awareness of that lung and heart and the protective rib cage. In your next inhale, send gratitude to your lungs and heart for keeping you alive. On the exhale, let go of what no longer serves you and leaves your heart heavy. Let it go. Breathing into the space with your attention and intention to be free and heart-centered. Letting go and feeling lighter. Feeling yourself more anchored, feeling yourself more embodied. Taking another deep breath in and out into this space. On the next exhale, bring your attention to your shoulders, bringing to mind all that you carry on your shoulders. In those breaths, take notice to the sensations in your shoulders. Again, from the eyes of the observer, with non-judgmental awareness, listen to your body. What are your shoulders telling you? Are they being asked to be moved, stretched, rolled? Are they asking that you take in deep breaths and just sigh it out and breathe it out? Are your shoulders up to your ears? Let them fall. Give yourself permission in this moment to answer to your needs. While you move them, stretch them, roll them, continuing sending loving thoughts and appreciation into the space. Breathing in and out, thanking your shoulders for all that they help you carry. Thank you, shoulders. Thank you. With our shoulders feeling lighter, with our body beginning to feel lighter, moving our attention to our arms, elbows, and hands. Breathing into that space and sending love and gratitude. Gratitude to our arms and elbows and hands for all they do and make possible for us. Thank you, arms, elbows, and hands. In every breath, we're feeling lighter and more connected, feeling more and more gratitude and love for this beautiful body, our vessel. With your next inhale, move your attention to your throat. Take a moment now to notice any sensations in and around the throat. Reminding yourself that this is the place from which our words are spoken. From this space, we choose how we will speak, the words we will use, the voice we will share. Is our voice open and receptive, or is it closed? Always reminding yourself it is your choice. You choose how you will speak and show up into this world. Send gratitude to your throat for allowing you to communicate with the world. Thank you, throat. I choose love and open space. Moving our breath and our attention to our face, mouth, ears, nose, and eyes, including our senses, taste, sound, smell, and sight. Focusing on this space, sending love and gratitude to this part of our body for allowing us to explore the world. Breathing in and breathing out with such gratitude and such appreciation. Through our next inhale, we bring our attention to the entire body. In those breaths, in that inhale and exhale, our intention is of gratitude to every cell, atom, molecule, and every piece of DNA, sending loving kindness to every part of our body, for it is our body that will carry us through this life, from this life's beginning to its end. Taking care of this body, appreciating this body, honoring this body for all that it does for us. Feeling the warm energy come up upon you, gently cascading over your head to the soles of your feet. Feeling that warmth and love surrounding you, enveloping you, marinating you in radiance. This joyful appreciation for your body. Taking one more deep breath, cleansing breath in through the nose, sighing it out through the mouth, and shaking if you need to. Hands over our hearts. Say thank you. Again, a deep cleansing breath in through the nose. And deeply sigh it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you feel ready, open your eyes and come back into this space, feeling more connected and more loved within your body and for your body.
Thanks, Arlene. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was very beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have
Well done.
Yeah.
I feel very.
If I had a skirt, I'd be like, thank you.
relaxed.
I feel very zen now.
I'm gonna step out for just a minute. I'll be back.
Yes.
You guys.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we have a few more people, it seems. So if anybody, if anybody would like, we're going to do some cards soon. So if anybody has a question, pop it up in the chat. And between the three of us, we'll all like tag team in. You know, it's like tag team wrestling. Okay. Or the baton.
And how perfect was that? 444 is when you said that.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Well, for me, it's 644, but yes.
Okay.
444. Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, oh, awesome. Yeah, now that we finally got it, so hopefully next time if we do this again, then we'll be, on time.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely. If anybody's got a question or we can answer it.
Yeah. Just answer us in the chat. I don't know if there's anything. No. Trying to see. No, it's just in the chat. So I'm trying to see if there was anything, but I don't see anything on this end. Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought, and if not, then we can always, like I said, we can always maybe pull a card, kind of like collectively, and maybe see what kind
absolutely.
of. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, but hey.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. I'm good. I'm down with that.
Kind of like an energy update kind of thing or whatever. I don't know. Or for the next.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we can definitely do that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So are we each going to like grab a deck and we each pull a card, or do we just read off, like if you pull a card, then we just all read off your card, or how do you want to do that?
I don't know. We can either way. What are you feeling?
I don't know. I'm pretty open. I brought a few decks up just in case because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I did too because I was like, I don't really know what we're doing. So
So I brought a few decks.
Yeah. Well, I got one of my new ones. So
Ooh, which one?
I did the Mystical Journal Oracle.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so we're doing an Oracle, and then maybe I'll do an Oracle too.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do Keepers of the Light.
Okay. Yeah, those are good ones.
Yeah. Cool. So are we doing something? Is this a collective reading that we're doing then?
Yeah.
Like an energy update? So like, is it for like maybe, are we do for like the month of February or from now till February or?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that now till February.
Okay. All right.
And then when Mom goes back, she can join in.
How many cards are we doing? 1, 2, 3.
I was thinking 3.
Sounds good. Had a feeling you're going to say 3, but I want to assume
We're in
sync.
We're in sync.
Hi, Jen. Jen Ward. She would like a card.
Okay, Jen. Okay.
So we'll do the collective one first, I guess. Like since we already have that like in mind, and then we'll do your card, Jen, if that's cool with you. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yay!
Awesome.
All right.
We'll do that one. Okay. That is like 2. Oh. Huh. One more. 3. Cool. Those are some neat cards.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, and they really kind of connect. So I love that.
Yes. Okay, you go first because this is your live. I'm just
all right.
I just showed up.
So the first one I got is Divine Gateway. So I'll try to show that one there.
Divine Director.
No way. You can't make this shit up. I always am saying.
I know, right? Even if you tried, you can't.
I know it is. That's funny. So that's my first card. The second card I got is Authenticity.
Okay. I got Lady Venus, and it's downloads and understanding.
Oh, nice. And then inner child.
Ooh, sacred self. They jam.
They do jam. So, okay, so I'll look at them and I'm just going to do it intuitively. I'm not reading the book,
Yes.
but so the divine gateway, I'm really getting, like we were talking about earlier, about that energetic shift, and that we're really starting to go through this gateway, and we're all getting these downloads, and that we're all going to be feeling like we were talking about, where we're not listening to people or being able to hear people because they're not tuned into the same frequency as us. And we're definitely moving up. And it's really interesting because she's got all these symbols all over her face. And when we were doing the meditation, I kept getting all these symbols coming in. So it's like these downloads that we're getting, and we're shifting energetically with that. So that's what I get with that one. And then authenticity, I really feel like it's a calling right now to be really showing up and be authentic, and, you know, just like unapologetically of who you are and who you are at your core. Because I think for so long we've tried to mask to fit into these groups and into these situations, and it's not time for that anymore. Now is the time for our true soul energy to just shine out with that. So that's what I get with that one. And then the inner child, I feel like it's a kind of, I got a dual message with it, because one, it's about doing some shadow work with our inner child and releasing these things in order for us to be able to go through that gateway to elevate ourselves up. But I also feel like it's tapping back into our inner child, so we're getting that creativity and that fun and that laughter and those kind of things. Because I think, especially when the lockdowns and everything happened, we became so stuck in our own minds that we you know, that was kind of a foreign to us, is to have fun and things. And so I really am getting that this is the time to get back into that energy. So that's what I'm picking up. So
awesome. So, okay. So with my cards, like I said, so it's the divine director. So intervention and purpose says divine intervention is occurring. Knowing that you are being guided, happiness is your purpose. And then the other one is downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. And then the last one is sacred self. Unleash your spirits. Express your gifts. Dance to the sacred rhythm of life. And so, yeah, so it makes me laugh because it's back to, like we were talking about before, about the energies, how it's shifted and moved from 2020 into now 2024. And then these energies continuing on from 2024 to 2027, at least. And so, and how we were saying too, with this energy and moving into the age of Aquarius, it is very much of truly the embodiment of stepping into our true being, right? So it's about remembering. And how often I find with this too, with where the cards are saying, it's like often when like the new year comes, people are always like, oh, how do I, you know, it's like these you know, they do the what's the resolutions and stuff like that, right? So it's almost like they're coming from this place of, it's still this place of lack, right? Because they're still like feeling like I wasn't enough, so I got to do this. And that's not what this is about now. This is about continuing to grow and expand and continue to nourish where you already started building before. So it's not really about starting new. It's about how do you amplify and strengthen who you are and what you're doing. And I feel like that's what's happening now. Is people are truly, again, like they're being guided and they're being pushed into, you know, this didn't work, or you know, it's more about like, okay, like how do you take it up a notch now? How do you move into it more? And then as much as the other card says downloads and understanding, because for me too, as much as words, like when it comes to labels aren't important, but words can be important because they hold a frequency, right? So depending on the words you use, some words are still holding old paradigm energy, and it doesn't hold the new energies as we're moving into higher dimensional awareness and learning. So downloads isn't downloads anymore. It's activations. We're being activated. We're being awakened and opened up, right? So because it's no more about, it's not that we're receiving anymore, because everything's in us. So now it's just, we're just embodying
into it.
activating into that, right? So that's what's happening now. So we're starting to move and we're shifting into that level of understanding and awareness, and stepping into almost like understanding our own programs and codes within us. So like I said, we are our own computer system. So we're understanding, we're seeing programs now that we didn't understand before, and now we're being able to break them down, right? And as we break everything down, we're seeing the new layers, and we can almost like, defragment and fragment and condense things that we don't need anymore, get rid of files that we don't want. And that's what's happening now. And that's what's bringing us into our sacred self, right? Because now we're truly understanding, and we're no longer seeing ourselves from the lens of anybody else. We are seeing ourselves as our true self being, as from our divine God source. And I feel like that is what the cards are saying. Does that make sense? And I feel like that's
I like that. You're on mute.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Mom. She is talking. I'm like, you're on mute.
Yep.
No, and that's funny because those cards, they just went so hand in hand. So that's just funny.
With what we were talking about too, a little bit, eh?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was funny. So we actually have somebody live with us. So
yeah. So did you want to? So are we all going to pull a card for Jen, or are we?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. One of us can pull a card.
Yeah, we all have decks. So how about you start off, Barb?
Oh, I didn't even get a deck out yet, though.
Get a deck out.
Okay, we'll get your deck.
You're lucky we love you, and you're more than a pretty face. We'll let it go. Let it slide.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm gonna do a
I have got the Oracle of Visions here.
Ooh.
Nice. Cairo Marchetti. Okay, so a card for Jennifer. You still there with us, Jennifer? Give us a heart or something. Oh, hello. Okay, got a card for Jennifer Ward. Okay, I'm going to pull the card, and we're going to all read it. Hey, girl, go ahead. See what you see in the card.
Who?
You, girl.
We're gonna do each individual one for her. We're gonna do her 3 cards for her. Yeah. So
okay.
This is on you.
This is on me. Okay, for that card, what I pick it up with that is she's in a time of putting together family situations. She's holding everything very close to her, and she's trying to make it so that everything runs in the same motion. And I'm going to just move here for a second. I'm going to read the card too, and it came straight up. Okay, when you're a mother, you are really close to you. You're never alone in your thoughts. A mother always has to think twice, once for herself and once for her child. The card may represent the nurturing nature of a mother embracing her child, a teacher guiding her student, or a master training his apprentice. Each balances the desire to protect and provide direction to those under his or her care, with this need to also allow room for personal growth. So I think what it's saying to you, Jen, is don't forget about you too. You can take care of your family all you want, but if you don't take care of you too, then the whole thing diminishes and goes to the wayside. Take care of you first, and then the children will follow. They'll watch your guidance, they'll watch your rule, and your interpretation of life and how it is. So you're out there working and doing your thing. Your children will see that in their life force too, that in order to grow, they have to make things happen in their life. They just can't sit back and allow things to go. So you can prepare them, to inform them and to advise them, but eventually they will come to the moment when you will need to resist the impulses to reach out and let them do their own thing. So I think it's saying is you can let them do their own thing and quit worrying about whether that they're not going to be okay, because it's up to them now to guide their own stream and do their own thing in life. That's what I get for that one there. So big hugs to you, Jen. Okay.
Very good. All right. So funny how they go. Universal mother.
Wow.
Can't make this up.
No, you can't make this up.
We were just laughing because when we did the 3 cards for the collective, they were like so into. Okay, so what I'm picking up from this is along similar of what you said, is that you are a mother and that but you are a universal mother, and so you are a mother to many that you don't even realize that you are mothering, and that's just your nature of who you are, to be a mother and to try to take care of everybody that's around you. But while you're doing that, don't forget that you need to mother yourself as well, because that's the universal love, is that it has to be in you in order to put it out to other people. And so it's just saying that, you need to take that time, and it's almost like you feel guilty if you take any time for yourself, and that you try to almost hide that you need some time. And it's okay to tap into that, because like they always say, you got to fill your cup before you can fill other people's. You got to put your mask on before you can, help the next person beside you. So I really think it's a time for you to do some grounding and to really tap into your inner love and mothering of yourself, so that you can continue your mothering with everybody else. So
and grab the strength with that too. It's kind of talking about the strength that you need to pull within yourself, to make that happen. Have faith that you've done what you needed to do up to this point. Have faith that you can let go now and let God sort of thing to do the rest for you. Anyway, sorry.
No, perfect.
Right in there.
Okay, Arlene.
So that's interesting. So I pulled a tarot card, actually. So I got the 8 of Cups for her.
Okay.
For Jen. So what's interesting is, so I and listening to what you ladies were saying too. So I feel like now, as she's stepping into this role, or the universal mother and embracing more of what you need for yourself, Jen, I also feel that with the 8 of Cups, now what it's telling you is part of 2024 for you. And I feel like it's already started in 2023, but it feels like it's been intensifying for you as the year has progressed, where now you are stepping away, or understanding that there's going to come a time where you're going to need to step away, and learn to let go with a sense, like let go with love. So it's understanding that you can love and you can appreciate what was and who was, but also understand that in honoring yourself, the need to step away is more important than the fear of disappointing or hurting somebody else's feelings. And I feel that that's the next step for you in truly learning to empower and feel empowered in who you are, and learning to have more self-confidence and self-trust in your choices and decisions. And I feel that this is what this year is a lot for you, is understanding when to say no, and understanding that no is a complete sentence. And I feel like that is a lot of what is coming through for you as you step into 2024. It is very much of learning how to walk away, and walk away without
guilt or
getting
shame.
stuck in the story of guilt and shame of it, and knowing that it's okay to walk away. It's okay to, and it's going to take steps, because I feel like it's not like you can just, shut the door and, on certain people, but it's learning to, maybe cut conversations shorter, maybe not hang out with certain people for so long, not being in certain places for too long, where it's overwhelming, or you feel like you're being depleted of energy, being sucked. So it's like you're learning to recognize and take small steps, so that eventually you can totally just walk away from it, or find a new way to make it work for you, that that you feel still benefits you and keeps you in honor of yourself, and to be healthy. Because I feel that a lot of it is learning how to navigate or be in the presence, or in situations where it isn't the most comfortable, but learning to not lose yourself in that space, so that you can still be you and show up as yourself, and as I said, honor you and empower yourself without losing yourself when you're in these situations with people and places that don't serve you.
Nice card. Nice card.
Very nice.
I'm hoping that makes sense, Jen, and I hope you enjoyed your card. Please let us know.
They sure did roll into each other, did they not?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really interesting how that happens. We all got onto the mother field and becoming our own person with the child. Yeah, cool.
If anybody else is on live, of course, send us a quick message there on the live chat. Let us know if you'd like us to pull a card for you with some messages for as you step into 2024. Right? I'm assuming that's what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're so welcome, Jen. We hope you enjoyed it.
You betcha. We really appreciate you coming on and listening to us as well.
Yes. Yeah. We appreciate you.
It just only took us about 100 tries to do it.
To finally get online. I know, right? But now we know. And knowing's half the battle.
We know. So maybe next time it'll go smoother.
Yes. That would be nice. I'm sure it will. We got this under control now. Or you guys do. I just follow suit.
Yeah.
I can't figure out how to see the chat, so thank goodness for Arlene, or else we'd be like pooped. Well, I guess you could probably read the chat too. I don't know.
I can read it.
I'm afraid.
I can now. Yeah.
I'm actually afraid to touch anything. So.
No, I'm using my phone. Yeah, because I would be afraid to touch on my laptop too. Let's just use the phone. Yay, technology.
Well, Kim's got the one that's under control for us. Yes. The Daughters of the Moon. She's my tech person.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It doesn't look like there's anybody else on there right now.
Yeah, no, there's a couple more people. So if you would like, thank you, Jen. We're so happy that you're enjoying it. She says it's been great. Thank you so much.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, nice
so
to see you.
If anybody would like a card pulled, please let us know. We'll pull a card for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we come on for. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's funny because one thing I kept thinking about too, just when we were all three of us together, I was so happy because Kim wasn't sure if you were going to join us, Barb. So when she told me that you were, I'm like, that's so awesome. And then the feeling I felt right away too when the three of us were on, it's like we are like the three phases of the goddess.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
The mother, maiden, and crone kind of thing. But at the same time, it's not like. But at the same time, we each embody all those three phases, and then all the phases in between, right? Because they always just talk about the three phases, but then it's but there's that big space in between, the spaces, right? And I feel like we, the three of us, we truly embody those three phases in every part, right? And we're always tapping in to those phases as we're growing, right? And we're always evolving and learning, right? So we're always, we go back and forth. It's like we're doing the cha-cha, right? We're dancing back and forth.
And of course, it's always the power of three too. That right?
Yes.
Which is huge too. So I was excited too when I could come to. Kim told me about it, and I thought, I'm definitely going to come for a while. It's been fun. It's been way fun to do this again.
Yeah, it's nice because I think the three of us, because we've been friends for so long, that we have that connection with each other where, even, the cards to be pulled up the same and just that energy level of, as you're tapping in, you can feel the other person's energy too of what they're saying. So I think that's really magnificent and lucky. And I'm grateful that we do get to do this. So.
It is wonderful, and it's so nice to see you again, too, Arlene. It's been a long time.
It's been nice seeing. Yes,
I know. Nice. Last time we went to your house, you were such a hostess to us. So,
thank you. It's the Portuguese in me. I can't help it.
All right.
Yes. If there was a separate hell for Portuguese people, if I didn't do it, I would be there, right? If it wasn't the gracious. No, I'm joking, but no, I'm just saying. No,
crazy.
No, it was so nice. I was so sad that I wasn't able to go with you ladies to Lilydale when you came. I'm just it's still on my bucket list, plus other places. It's still a place I'd love to go. So
we still want to go back to Lilydale, but I think
we do want to go back. So
I think the next place we need to go to is Salem.
Oh yes.
Make a trip and go, because I think that would be a beautiful
amazing
trip, rewarding. I know we have a treat that we're going to here coming up, the wellness retreat in Banff that we're heading out to. So We're pretty
That's
excited
amazing.
about that too.
Mhm.
You know, should be a full weekend of bliss, you know.
So are we going to
And
pull a
that's,
card for each other now, I'm assuming? Is that what we're doing?
We might as well, if nobody else is on there, then nobody
Right
else
now it's
has
just
a
me and Barb.
card.
yep.
It's just me and Barb and
Okay.
Barb and me.
Okay. All right. Well,
Okay, well, who's going first?
oh,
You're going to put it on me again? Okay, I'll pull a
yeah.
card for you.
Maybe we'll do Arlene first because she's our guest. Ooh,
Ooh.
just like flew out. So
Okay. Okay. What's the card for Arlene? What do we got here? A beautiful card, I'll tell you. Let's see what it says. Okay, this is perfect card for you.
Oh,
Can
I
you
can't
see
see.
it?
Oh, sort of.
You just need to come back a bit.
Yeah, I sort of see it. Yep.
Okay. What the
Yep.
card tells me is you're embracing everything you're supposed to be doing right now. You're at the top of your game and you're only just going to keep going. It tells you about the connections you're going to have with people and places that you're going to be going to make those connections as well. So it just says that you're at a time now where you're like a, and I know this is probably not connected to Reverend, but like a fairy running around, pulling in all your mystical stuff with you. You're pulling in all the things you need to pull in and all the energies that you need to be pulling in order to gain ground to where you're going to go. So you're already on your way, and it shows with the balloon and that too, that you are taking flight. You are smoothly traveling to where you need to go. And just shows you that you're going to be touching in. You're a person that doesn't always just touch in with people. You touch in with animals and you touch in with nature very much so. And so this year is going to be a year of that and embracing that. And you're building your bridge to be longer and wider than you even imagined. So this is going to be a year of things moving ahead and putting the puzzle pieces, finding them together to finding out exactly where you're heading and what you want to know. So that's a beautiful card.
that is a very nice card.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I can read
And
the
the one
definition
that
if you want.
this,
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, what? If you want me to read the definition?
Oh no, it's just you had said something, but I didn't hear you. I missed what you said at the end.
Oh, I can always read the definition of the card too, but the card is about manipulation and control, role playing, and wishful thinking. So it's this card just says that it's about you doing the things that you need to do and traveling with it. It's also about connections, putting pieces together and coming to the conclusion. So you're finally going to come to all the things that you've been trying to get together. You're finally going to have them together this year, and it's going to be building all kinds of connections for you. So that's what you wanted.
Thank
very
you.
cool. Well, this one actually flew out the deck, so it's hidden motivation.
Cool.
So what I'm getting from it is because you are really coming from a place of love now, not that you didn't before, but even more so now that you have your reverendship. It's like your mind is constantly floating between things in the past and things into the future, but it's almost like it's not even just the past that is here. It's like the past that you've experienced in other lifetimes, and you're getting so many visions and so many things about where you need to be going and where you need to be taking, and like you said earlier, like just letting it flow in. And so I feel like you have such a connection to the stars and to the moon, and that those have always been a strong connection for you. So it really does feel like, and I agree with the animals and things like that, and with children, and because of your children, I mean, these are young girls in this part, but I feel because you have such a sense of how to tap in with children and what they need and what their hidden need is, that you were able to focus on that. And it just is a reminder to make sure that as you're going along and you're helping all these other people, that you're also putting that back into your heart as well for the love. Because again, you know, you're getting that universal love coming to you. And I agree, there's going to be so many things coming up for you that you are not even aware of right now, of where you're going to be branching off into with your business and in on a personal level this next year for you. So that's what I got.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very
You're
cool.
welcome. You're welcome.
I
Also,
appreciate
I
you ladies
think,
so much.
I also think your creativity is heightened this year even more so again, even though you're probably thinking, what? But I feel behind it, I feel behind your navel is where I feel the pull. So it just tells me that you're going to be embarking on some new things as well. So
yeah, I'm doing that more with the herbs right now. I'm really like playing with herbs and making tinctures and salts and other like teas and everything. So really focusing on that and playing with making different herbal remedies and stuff. So
beautiful.
That's
Beautiful.
cool. Yeah, I
Good
love
for
that.
you. Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. All right. You want to
I
go?
already pulled the card for Barb.
Okay, perfect. That's who I was going to say next. So you read my mind.
All I can say is yippee.
Okay. So the card I got for you, Barb, is the Four of Wands.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, give me a second because it was already like a lot of information. So,
Hello,
I feel like 2024 for you is, it's almost like, okay, so I'm thinking, how do I say this without making it like sounds, I don't know, not that it sounds bad, but
just say it, girl.
I feel like this right now, this feels like it's like your second life. Like your second, I feel like, yes, you had this life before, and it's not that you would ever change that life or have any regrets, but it's almost like you're in this new chapter, and it's almost very much like that Barb before. There's aspects that still exist, but not really. You have totally stepped into this new, or you're starting to like tap. You're starting to learn about this new person. You're being introduced to this new Barb, right?
Yep.
And I feel like that's very much you stepping into 2024. It's really about like you're really embracing just this newness about you, and you're like starting to like it's like a child, right? Like you're a child, like learning your new likes. It's like a lot of things too. It's like songs, like music you used to like. It's different now. Foods you used to like is different now. There's all these things that are so different, and you're just starting to uncover who this new person is, and it's just like wow for you, right? It's like it's really new. And there's this part of you that first you're like, oh, what's wrong with me? But then something shifted again in you, and you have this new perspective, like, no, this is new. It's like I'm evolving, I'm growing, and this is what's happened now, right? And you've learned to really surrender and like want to take into that. And I feel too like traveling is really important right now. Like I'm not saying maybe it's not really traveling, maybe not by plane or something, but you really want to explore new places. And I feel like even just in Canada in general, in Alberta, it's like there's so many places you want to explore where you can take the car for a weekend and drive somewhere. And I feel like that's something too. And I feel like you're really connecting, or you want to connect even more deeper into your native roots and travel to sacred places. There's sacred areas where you are that you want to go to. I keep seeing too, like wanting to do like the, what you call it? Like what is it called? When the like, in the tents where you do the spiritual journey. Yeah, like like spiritual journeys in the tents with the smoke and everything too. Like I feel like there's this part of you that's really wanting to connect deeper to the ancestral heritage of you, but to really take it up to like another level, because I feel like you're being and I feel too like you've been getting messages from ancestors or from like these native ancestral beings that have really been coming to you more. Like I even feel like you've been smelling like the tobacco smoke and stuff too. Like it's just been happening more. And there's this part of you that's like, no, I got to go explore this. There's new information that I need that's going to help you as you step into and support more people in the community through your services. And I feel like you're really going to start stepping into more of using those old native rituals and routines and spiritual herbs and everything to really help amplify your services and bring that forward.
Boy, right on, girl. Bingo.
Yeah.
You're very good. Yeah. Bingo. Yes, that is so true. Even today, I even hung up another one of my native things that I like. I thought, no, that needs to be on the wall. So thank you.
Nice. Well, the one I got is look for the signs, pay attention, and expect an answer.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what I get it for it is you have been really tapping into things, and you've been looking for signs about different things that you're going through in your life about, is this right? Is this the right move for me? What should I be doing with this? Where am I going with that? And it's saying that they are listening to you, and you are going to be getting the signs, but it's going to be like, it's funny because it's almost going to go back to some of your youth and things like that, where you were looking in the clouds and could see pictures in the clouds. And it's going to be stuff like that where your answer is going to be coming to you from. It's like you're going to be looking up at the clouds and going to be like, oh, okay, that's the right answer, right? You're connecting in that way and with the stars and things like that. And it's also saying to me that you need to get more into your creativity again, and learn to play more, because it's like you forgot how to play. You forgot that joyful side where it's just okay to let loose and be a kid at heart, and you kind of just box that in for a little while, and now it's saying, okay, now I need to let that out. And the more that you tap into that inner joy, the more these signs are going to be coming for you.
Thanks, Kim. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, Kimmy's turn.
Thank
Always
you.
exciting. It's always exciting.
Right?
Okay, one for Kim. Okay. Isn't that an interesting card for Miss Kim? I think, anyway. I'm just going to go here for a second. Yeah.
Secret.
Okay, there it is. There's the card.
Oh, that is cool.
That is very cool.
I love all the blue.
I know, eh? The voice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I'm getting with this card here is you're stepping in a time of memories. Some of the memories from the past and things like that. What you're doing is you're collaborating, you're pulling them all together. And what you're trying to do is make sense of what was from the past and what is today. You're actually stepping into a time too, and you talk about past lives. Your past life connection is coming even more focused than it was before. And you still haven't touched in, and you haven't crossed into the real child, the true child in you. You haven't connected with that yet, but you're trying to connect with it. And this is why you're making your choices that you're making right now, as far as even what you're doing with your nails. So what your choices, what you're doing right now, it's like you've opened your mind and said, okay, I really need to think about what I'm doing and how I want to do it and where I'm going from here. And they're all going to come together, and I'm going to get all what I need. But those are all what you're trying to collaborate and put together, and you will be successful at it, doing it this year. Your voice is becoming more and more prominent in how you're working and what you're doing. And in this year coming ahead, you're going to have your voice is still going to be there, but you're going to be adding a little bit more. And don't get this wrong, femininity to the whole posture of how you're being and how you your makeup, your cosmetics of you, sort of thing. So it's going to be very interesting, and you'll get rewarded from all the light that you're receiving. That's what I got from that one.
Well, thank you. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I look forward to that.
Thank you.
My turn. And it makes sense. It does fit with like the card you're saying too, because you got the magician.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Right. So of course the first thing I heard was as above, so below. So that was one of the first things I got when I saw this. So okay, so hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to put it into words.
We need that too.
So I feel like 2024 for you it already started again to like near the end of 2023, and it's more so. Okay, so no, go back. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, go back. So so what happened first was, okay, so it began with the start of your podcast, right? So that podcast has been a true activation for you. it has moved things. It's almost as if it's helped to reconfigure your DNA, all that stuff. Like you are recalibrating, right? And so I feel that, and then so that really shifted in turn. And then in 2023, it took off, right? So like it really took off, and it was it was in a way where it's like, I feel like even still now, sometimes you're pinching yourself, right? Like you really pinch yourself, and you're just like, there's no way. Like, does this really happen? Like, okay, let me go back to when we started to like now, right?
Yeah.
And it's like there's this part of you that's almost like you take in like an inventory of like boom, 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 boom. Like, how did this happen? Right? Even stuff like even stuff that you couldn't have imagined putting on a vision board. Like that's how like plentiful and abundant it's been. Where it's like, I never would have thought this person would have came to my to our podcast. Like, and boom, there they were, right? Like it was just amazing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that has really sparked something in you. But at the same time, there's this, because again, we're, you know, the human, right? So the ego part. And because you're still working through the confidence and the self-esteem. So then there's this part of like, oh my God, like, you know, you're so thrilled. But then there's this little voice that sometimes, and it's just like, but how long is it going to last? You know, like there's this part of you that's still kind of waiting for the shoe to drop or something. But that's not going to happen, because your team is just like, boom, they got you, right? Like, no, it's like, how many times you probably should have slipped on ice by now and you haven't, because they got you. Like, to like that, literally, like you almost slipped on ice and you didn't, like, and how you didn't hurt yourself. Like literally, like, they're showing me this. So this is what happened. Like literally,
that just happened not too long ago.
Yes. So that's what they're showing me. So it's like, you are really stepping into this empowerment too. Like 2024 for you is really going to be a year of empowerment. It's a year of creativity. It's a year of bringing in too, like, I almost feel like maybe not like the urge like with me, but at the same time, there's this piece of you that's really connecting to your ancestral connections. And how do you bring that into your everyday life? Because there's something that's really pulling you in from that again, of how to use what you were taught to bring more abundance, bring more joy, bring more peace and stability and balance into your life, right? And you're really stepping into, and as much as like Barbara's saying about the feminine in you, but also what I sense is, because people get confused with the divine masculine, right? And they think the divine masculine is this certain way, where it's not that. The divine masculine is very sensitive, actually. It's just, they're strong, but they're sensitive. They know their boundaries, and they are very much in their heart center too, but they have direction. And that is where you're stepping more into, where you're starting to not, it's not that saying that you're not coming from your heart, because you are, but it's not from the emotional sense. It's like your heart is leading you, because it's the lion heart, right?
Yeah.
So it's coming from a place of stability, right? Where it's not, you're not being led by your emotions. It's the heart head emotion, right? So you have more direction now, and you are learning, and you're getting better at quieting that voice that's telling you, are you sure? Like, you know, like, you're getting better at quieting that voice, and you're really stepping into your magician energy now. Like, you are ready to make magic, because you finally realize, I am magic. I'm the I am. You are your I am, and you're really embracing that this year.
You are totally right.
Thank you.
I think too is you're also stepping into a side, Kimmy, where the words of others isn't going to reflect on you as heavily. They're sort of going to fall off your back, basically, and you'll just move forward. And so the words, what you hear coming out of somebody's mouth, will be almost blah, 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 or muck, 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 because
it's like Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Because your emotional side's going to go, no, I'm not listening to that anymore. I want to feel this other way. And so you can't take me down that avenue or that road, wherever you are. So I think that's where the feminine side says, I can just walk this way and I can do it this way, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. That's wonderful. Yay.
Cool. You're going to be very successful this coming year and the next 2 years, for sure. Arlene, and things are going to really heighten up for you. You are going to be doing a little bit of travel, and so I hope you're prepared for that as well. And I think too that you're going to be doing a lot more mentoring this year than you actually thought. So missionary, yeah, you are. Okay, and that's what I got with that one for you. You know, not even just the card, just my mind went on a little trip.
Good things for all three of us. Yay!
Yeah.
Maybe we'll all like meet up in one place together.
There you go.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
I would love that.
That would be amazing.
Again in person. It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
cool.
anybody else on there that say anything or
there's a couple people. I left a little message saying if anybody wants a card pulled, let us know, and we'll pull a card. But it's quiet.
All right. Well,
I can hear the crickets. No, I'm joking.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna have to run off here because I have to seafood supper wait for me.
Yes, well, if nobody else is there, I think we did what we came to do, and we appreciate you coming on with us and being our guinea pig to try the first YouTube live, and hopefully you'll come on and we can do this, you know, on a semi-regular thing now that we maybe have it down pat.
We're working on it. Yeah, so work in progress. But maybe we can do it with you again, Arlene, like maybe once a week or once a month or something, like, you know.
That'd be amazing.
Be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we do like a monthly reading or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Well, I don't care if it's every day. That's okay with me. Anyways, love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you.
And thank you. And thanks for everybody that joined in. And
thank you.
Hopefully with the collective message, they'll get some answers if they're watching back on it.
Exactly. Next time, girls.
All righty.
Yes.
Okay. See you, everybody.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.